You don't remember dying. That is the first thing. Most people, you imagine, would remember. But you have nothing. Not the moment, not the reason. Not even the pain. What you have is a train station. Rain on stone. Steam in the cold air. A platform late at night. And a wedding ring on the ground. That you don't recognize. Until you understand. That you should. You look at the figure on the platform floor. You look at your own hands. You understand that these are not the same hands. You don't know your name. You don't know your face. You know only one thing, which you will spend the next 100 years learning the full weight of. You are still here. And you have no idea who here is. The disappearing starts on the second day. You feel yourself thinning. Not frightening at first, just strange. The way fog dissipates in morning light. Then terrifying. You press against the world. And the world becomes less solid. And you understand with the clarity of something that has no name, but has instincts. If you stay outside a body for too long, you cease. The first one is a sleeping man. You don't choose him. You simply find yourself inside him. The way water finds the lowest point. It is warm. You had forgotten warm. You feel his heartbeat. Like a clock you have no hands to read. You feel his breath. You feel, for the first time since the platform, like something rather than nothing. You only mean to borrow a moment. You tell yourself that from the beginning. You are only borrowing. You will remember that. You become skilled at it. At staying quiet inside them. At watching rather than interfering. At feeling their emotions. Without letting your own muddy the water. You feel love through them. Genuine love, the particular warmth of it. Nothing like what you've read about. Exactly like what you somehow already knew. So you've loved before. You feel that. You feel grief through them. You feel a mother's specific terror. For a child who has been ill. You feel the strange relief of a person who has been carrying something heavy for a long time and has finally put it down. You feel all of it. And when they sleep, you search through their photographs for a face you recognize. You find faces you almost recognize. That is worse, somehow, than finding nothing at all. You notice it first in mirrors. You have no fixed reflection. Just a shifting, searching thing that never settles into a face. One afternoon, through a host, someone at a dinner party asks, "What do you do?" And then, "Where are you from?" And then, laughing, making conversation. "So, who are you, really?" The host's mouth opens to answer. And you, or the passenger, the borrower? The thing that is not supposed to interfere. You don't know. You reach for your name. And find only rain on a platform. A wedding ring on stone. A war, somewhere, that you were part of. A face that might have been a daughter's. Never a name. Never a face of your own. Never the answer to the simplest question anyone has ever asked you. The fear begins there. Not the fear of disappearing. The worst one. The fear that even if you find a body, you can stay in forever. You still won't know who is staying. You start staying longer. You don't decide to. It happens the way drifting happens. Gradually, then all at once. The hosts begin to show the where of it. They lose sleep. They hear something just below hearing. They wake in rooms they don't remember entering. They catch their own reflection and find it slightly wrong. The eyes not quite theirs. The expression not quite worn. You see what you are doing. You don't know how to stop. Leaving feels like the platform. Leaving feels like thinning. Leaving feels like the specific terror of becoming less. When you are already so little to begin with. But you are hurting them. You know this. You have known it for years. And kept knowing it and staying anyway. And that knowledge is the part of this that will take the longest to forgive. The young man's name is Daniel. You know that because his mother says it 100 times a day now. Standing in doorways. Her voice carrying a new frequency. Underneath the ordinary word. You know it is time to leave. You knew it 2 weeks ago. But you found something in him. A memory of a grandmother who hummed a specific song. A song you somehow know the next line to. A song from 1925. That a young man born in 2001 has no reason to know the next line to. You stay one more day looking for why. Then one more. The radio starts playing on its own. Not your intention. You didn't even know you could do that. But you did it. And now his mother is on the phone. And her voice has the specific quality of someone calling. Because they have run out of ordinary explanations. The priest is nothing like you expected. You expected certainty, conviction, the specific human confidence of someone who has categorized you before they've met you. Father Thomas has tired eyes. The eyes of someone who has seen a great many things and updated his understanding of them. Every single time he begins the ritual, the candles, the words, the ancient formulaic language, designed for something you are increasingly certain you are not. And then he pushes, not unkindly, but firmly, and you feel yourself beginning to separate. And the terror comes. And for the first time in 100 years of borrowing and hiding and searching, something in you stops calculating and starts screaming. Not words. Not at first. Then words. I don't remember who I am. The room goes quiet. The priest goes still. And you understand, from the expression moving across his face, that you have just said something that has changed the nature of what is happening in this room. Before you found words for it, the house spoke for you. Clock stopped. Always at the same time. The time printed into you. Like the last thing a body knows. Children saw you. They always do. Before the world teaches them what is supposed to be possible. They simply look at what's there. A small girl pointed at you once. Across a room full of adults who were looking somewhere else entirely. She didn't scream. She just pointed. The way children point. At aeroplanes and interesting birds. Dogs know. Dogs have always known. They stand at the door to a room and refuse and growl. At the specific place you happen to be standing. You find it more companionable than threatening. At least they acknowledge you. Photographs change. Not because you mean them to. Just because sometimes presence is stronger than physics. Here is what 100 lives teaches you. Everyone is searching for something. The specifics vary. But the shape of the search is always the same. The leaning forward. The scanning of faces in a crowd. The specific quality of hoping that the next place, the next person, the next moment will contain the thing that's missing. You have searched 100 people's memories for your own. You have lived inside 100 griefs, looking for the one that fits. And the thing you keep finding, the thread running through all of them, is a train station, a wedding ring, rain, a daughter's face you can almost but not quite complete. You are not in anyone else's memory. You know that now. You are somewhere in your own. And whatever is keeping it locked is the same thing that has kept you here, inside other people's lives, for 100 years. She is the first one who can see you without being inside her. You are standing beside her chair, and she turns and looks directly at you and says, "Oh, there you are," as if she's been expecting you, as if you are a visitor who is slightly late. Her name is Margaret. She is 87 years old, and apparently long past the point of being frightened by things she can't explain. She offers you tea, then apologizes for offering a ghost tea, then laughs at herself, then asks, "What's your name?" You say, "I don't know." She looks at you for a long moment. Then she says something nobody in 100 years has thought to say. Then perhaps that's why you can't leave. You sit with that. For the first time in a century, someone has suggested that the thing keeping you here is not an anchor, but a question. And the question has an answer. And the answer is in you. Father Thomas comes back. Not with candles this time. Not with holy water or formulaic language. He comes with a chair and a notebook and the tired, compassionate eyes of someone who has been thinking about you specifically since the night you screamed that you didn't know who you were. He says, "I don't think you're evil." You say, "I'm not." He says, "I don't think you're dangerous." You say, "I didn't mean to be." He says, "I know. Tell me what you remember." You tell him everything. The platform. The rain. The wedding ring. The war. The daughter's face you can almost complete. The song the young man's grandmother hummed. He writes it all down. He asks questions you haven't thought to ask yourself. He treats you like a person working through something difficult, rather than a problem to be solved. It is the kindest thing anyone has done for you in 100 years, possibly longer. The memory comes back all at once. Not gradually. Not in fragments. All of it, at once. Like a held breath released. Your name. Your face. The platform, now complete. Not a mystery but a moment. A heart attack, sudden. A man standing alone. Because his wife was 3 days gone. And his daughter was far away. And he had come to the station simply to be among movement. Because standing still in the house was unbearable. You died alone. Not unloved. Not unmissed. Just alone in that particular moment. And the aloneness of it became the whole story you told yourself. Over and over. Through 100 borrowed lives. I need to find where I belong. I need to find what I lost. I need one more life, one more memory. One more chance to recognize something as mine. But you had a life. It was yours. Complete in the ways that mattered. Incomplete in the ways all lives are incomplete. For 100 years. You think, I borrowed lives because I was afraid to lose my own. But I had already lost it. The day I died. The room becomes quiet. Margaret holds your hand. Or holds the space where your hand would be.